Hello, my sweet souls. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Spirit's gonna bring you a mockingbird. Oh, my fairies, if you chose this one, I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of you because you're sick and tired of it. You've hit a wall. I heard Sia, uh, the Chandelier song. I'm hearing Unstoppable right now. But before that, I was hearing all these different songs, and it was like really showing me how scattered you guys are and how hard and difficult it has been for you to be grounded. And so I'm here as your sister, whatever you need, your brother, your mother, your father, your grandpa, your grandma. I'm here right now to hold space for you because you're struggling. It is not easy to go in between worlds. Your natural state is love. All of our natural state is love. But you reading to Dark Mirror Oracle, you are having a hard time letting your darkness shine. And I felt this energy like right away. It's interesting that they had for the reading. Oh my gosh. Okay, so first of all, I just opened the box and look at this. There's a card in there that is not from this deck, but you know what's interesting is I was really called to this deck. I have over 30 decks and I was really called to this deck. Okay. Um, Let me see if I can, it might be close to me. Yes. So very interesting. You had a surprise deck, the Enchanted Spell Oracle. So you got a surprise card. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know why Spirit had me do that. Once in a while, a card will go rogue in another box, but it always means something. So let's count the pentacles. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So there's 12 pentacles here. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the 12, number 12 must mean something to you guys. But either way, I feel like that was like, because you chose the dark mirror, I almost feel like your intuition was telling you to choose the dark mirror because this is where your medicine lies. You know what I mean? Like, you need the medicine. Um, and you're ready for it, but it's almost like spirit wanted to bring in like some fairy essence, you know what I mean? And from the hedge witches, like to say like, they love you, they support you in real time. Today is October 9th, 2023. Whenever you watch this, it's timeless. But these are love letters from our shadow, right? So shadow self, whatever you want to look at, your dark side. Your deck was literally called Dark Mirror. So we're going to dig in deep. We're going to see what's going on, but very interesting that the medieval hedge witches and the magic with the way I spell it with a K wanted to come in and speak to you. It's also that deck is from the priestess moon, and she's a very, very, very powerful hedge witch from down under. So I live in the northern hemisphere. And you know what's interesting is this deck, I believe, is from Spain, which is really, really crazy. Oh my gosh, look what was in between that. Did I not just say you guys are my fairies? I feel like you guys are my fairies, my light, like who, you know what I mean? So you are having a special reading, and I have no idea what is going on. So let's get your love letter from your shadow first, because I feel like your shadow really wants to come out first. And then because 414, and then it went to 415. And if you were pulled to any other reading, please, go where your heart is telling you to go. If not, don't read into it. If you're scrying and seeing certain images, maybe that will pull you to that. This right here, if you've already seen reading one, you're going to be like, what? Come on. If I'll see that, everybody's going to scry. You're going to see what you're going to see there. So I'll just leave it there. But this is really powerful. Oh my gosh. It was 442, then 43, then 44. So, also I'm getting this. Stop. No. Let's burn. I knew the cedar wanted to come in for somebody. Okay, listen. my fairies, my flitty fairies. I too am from the fairy realm, or I've lived there, or I was on part fae. I don't know what the story is, but I know. So listen, this is a smudging from your fairy kin, from your star family, from spirit. Take some deep breaths, let it out, cry. We're going to get into some nitty gritty. This reading already is completely different from reading 1, so which excites me for reading 3. So listen, that's why I call them readings and not pick a pile, because these are different decks. They have different energies. They have different, stories, different magic, right? Like, and this particular deck, the Dark Mirror deck, is about the ego and the shadow. And it's hard I understand when you feel in your core that you're this loving light being and you're just like, la, 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 I'm a fairy. I love the world. I feel you. I'm the same way. However, there was something in our lives in time that broke us. In fact, I was completely trying to cover this light up so that I can go dark. I felt like you guys are meant to go dark. I was going to do the black and white filter, but I felt like Spirit was like, that is just too much for them. So they put me in this other filter. It's called Deep, and it makes sense because that's what I feel like you guys need to do. You need to dig deep. You need to go in there. I know you needed the light right now because, right, when you're going through the shadow and the darkness and the gook and the heavy shit, who the fuck wants to, just be in the complete darkness? However, sometimes you gotta go there. Sometimes you gotta go there, okay? So we're gonna fucking go there. Don't be afraid. I keep hearing that. And I don't like to use fear-based words, but I'm really getting from Spirit, please. There is nothing to fear, child. There is nothing to fear. The fear that you're having, it's an OCD that a lot of light workers have, especially the light workers who have the biggest hearts, the biggest empaths. We're a little fucked right now, right? Because of all the shadow that was cast upon us, the shadow that we co-created with other people, our own shadow that we created for ourselves to protect ourselves, right? There's a lot going on. So you must dig deep. You must go into the darkness. You must go into the shadow. I don't know when they're going to have me release this, but tomorrow is the 1010 portal. And then on Friday, it's the last Friday, the 13th of the year, and the last one until like next year in like September, almost a year from now, like 11 months from now. And I think it's September 14th, and I feel like that's supposed to mean something to somebody. Okay. Anyway, go research it on your own. With light and love, I mean it. I didn't mean it bitchy. I'm channeling. There's so much information and there's so many of you that like have people coming through and energies that are coming through. So I just want to do everyone a solid and good service for the work that I do. So thank you everybody for slowing down, taking those deep breaths and just rolling into the darkness. In real time, we're in the waning crescent, which is the rest and restore energy. We're at the end of the Virgo moon. Soon on Friday the 13th, Freya the 13th, the day of the goddess. Having a day of the goddess like that in October is like winning the lottery. There are so many things that are going to align over the next several weeks. It's also going to be a solar eclipse, an annular eclipse, I believe they call it. So research all that on your own as well. I don't know if I have a lot going on in my personal life, so I'm doing the best I can for you guys right now. But normally I'd be really dialed in for the new people. Welcome. For those of you who keep coming back, thank you for coming back and supporting me and the work that I do with Spirit for you. It is my divine pleasure. So getting back, what they're trying to say is, when you have so much love and light in your heart, beautiful empaths, when you have so much love and light in your heart, beautiful empaths, sensitives, fairies, sweet souls, the darkness feels uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable because it's not our natural state. But you came here to be human, and all humans possess shadow and light. It helps us, it protects us, it guides us, it teaches us. It's part about being human. It does not mean you have to live in it, run from it, hide from it. Instead, they want you to embrace your darkness and love it. And love it as much as you love the light. And love it as much as you love your fairy. Because it's a part of you. Work with the dark fairies for a while. For some of you, if you don't know what I'm talking about, doesn't now dark fairies and dark magic are very different things. The dark fae have an energy too. I don't know if they're going to have me pull from it, but I did pull a card for reading one for a plant spell with the ivy. So if that's like another wink wink for you to go to reading one, go there. If not, again, that's not for you. There's multiple people watching these readings, so whatever message is meant to you, go to you is what's meant to go to you. Okay, speaking of, I started shuffling all the cards together. I wasn't like paying attention. I had my eyes closed. And isn't it interesting that the fairy cards in that came out with this? So, oh my gosh, it's making me think of what is that movie? I think it's Grease 2 where he's singing that song Masquerade because he's playing the cool writer. Have you guys ever seen Grease 2? You should really watch it. It's awesome. Michelle Pfeiffer is a fucking queen. That whole movie, everybody's amazing in that movie. I mean, hey, Johnny, Johnny. That's Judy Garland's other daughter, Lorna Luft, I believe her name is. The blonde. Anyway, he sings about the song called Masquerade. I went down that rabbit hole for somebody. Somebody needed that. Curl up with a good movie. So, what masquerade are you living in right now? What masquerade are you living in right now? What truth are you not wanting to see? What truth are you denying yourself to see? Right? I feel like some of you, you're OCD, right? Like you want it to be perfect, in the middle, centered. Don't worry about that shit. Yeah, it might make the picture look better, sure, but don't get too lost in the details. If you're going to get lost, Spirit is saying get lost in the creativity, get lost in the passion, get lost in the love, get lost in the happiness, get lost in the joy. Don't get lost in your darkness and living these dual lives. Maybe you're living multiple lives. Maybe you're one way at work, one way at home, one way with your, friends, one way with your family. That's a lot of fucking masks to wear, man. I used to do that too. It's exhausting. You know what it made me? An alcoholic and an addict. I was either out being the life of the party, fucked up out of my mind, having a great time dancing on, the fucking bar tops, ripping my shirt off, going wild, crazy girl. Or I was at home drinking and smoking and watching, dark movies and writing dark poetry, But I had to go through all those phases. And what it made me realize was the more I went inside, the more I looked at myself, the more I would, when I was at home, I would look the way I wanted, dress the way I wanted. I remember one time somebody had come over to my house for the first time. It was their first time hanging out with me. And they're like, dude, what are you wearing? And I'm like, what? And I was wearing a vintage kimono over like, yoga pants and like, a sweatshirt or something like that. And I'm still wearing like my crystal jewelry, my rings, looking like my little hippie or whatever. And I was like, what do you mean? I'm like, this is what I wear. They're like, that's what you wear, just hanging around your house. I'm like, yeah. Or cut to another time where this amazing vintage dress came into my orbit from the 70s. It was like phenomenal. And my hat was my hat, but the dress was, gifted to me. And long story short, I came out to show everyone how I looked. And I was like, dude, this is the outfit I am going to wear when I meet Stevie Nicks, because my friend was connected to them. And I was like, I have this feeling I'm going to meet them. And while I'm connected to you somehow or whatever, I'm like, I just have this feeling or whatever. They got really upset and were like, you can't wear that. And I'm like, what do you mean I can't wear that? They're like, it looks like you're like trying to be her. I'm like, I'm not trying to be her. This is me. This is the way I look. I just fucking got this dress. Like, I would wear this whole outfit, whether I was going to meet Stevie Nicks or I'm going to do fucking laundry. This is who I am. Like, have you not got that yet? You know what I mean? That's when I started to realize, like, certain people in my life, I'm like, you don't know me, or you don't get me, or you're trying to change me. And I was like, no more masks, no more, whatever. because I know who the fuck I am, and I know Stevie we're just as powerful witches, right? So she would be like, Get over here." She'd fucking hug me, you know what I mean? Like, we'd have a cool moment. I'm like, don't bleed your insecurities or your darkness or your shadow or your fear or whatever's going on there. I'm not sure, but whatever it is, I'm like, don't bring it into my orbit. So I started to realize I'm like, I may love people, I may want to hang around with people, but I'm like, I cannot constantly battle people's shadows. And if you have people around you in your life that you feel like you are constantly battling their shadows, or you feel depleted after being in their presence, you have got to take that fucking mask off, because it is not serving you in any way. So, your shadow, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to take that mask off. That's the love letter from your shadow. Your shadow is like, I can keep protecting you. I can keep surrounding you around these dark people, but only you can get out of this dimensional energy, this third dimensional, whatever, however you want to call it, perceive it, see it. It's not some magic place. It's living the life that you deserve. It's living the life that you see for yourself. You know? I mean, look at that. Like, look at their face. They're sad. They're super fucking sad and depleted. But you can just tell from the energy of the card and from the artist, because they did such a good job, even with this cool little filter and my not so fancy camera. You can tell that that's a youthful person, actually. But look at how run down and tired they are. Number 15, if that means anything to you, it's also the number 6. And Spirit's like, aren't you tired of wearing your masks? Aren't you tired of carrying this burden on your head? Like, look at that. Yeah, it's a beautiful mask, right, for a ball. But also, if you look at it and you scry in that, I mean, there's so much going on. There's a lot of imagery. It's kind of a chaotic fucking mess. It's almost like like their brain, their crown chakra has been like, so look at, like, somebody's trying to cram a bunch of shit in their head in their crown chakra, right? Like, I was trying to make you laugh a little bit. I get it. I've been there. But you know how I got rid of that? Was fucking hanging out with my shadow more, and my shadow looking out for me instead of my shadow ruling my decisions, because my shadow is a multiple fucking entity made up of my shit, other people's shit. And you're an empath, you're a sensitive. If you are watching this right now, you are a sensitive, you are a loving light being having a human experience. And it is not your job to make sure every single person around you is well. That is a personal inside job. If you are a parent, obviously, you know, you take care of your children, whatever, but don't let them drain you either. I'm hearing for some, I don't know who this is for, so I don't know if this is for a parent or a child or all of the above, but I just heard spoiled, right? You spoil the child, you spoil the blah blah blah, you know, kind of thing. But also, it could be for some of you, you're spoiled. Like, you've been really taken care of, and now you have to face shit, dark shit, look at shit, right? Like, the dark mirror is in front of your face. There's a skeleton looking at your face. Oh, see, you don't want to see it. Oh, man, what? That was going so perfectly, and I felt it. There was like a barrier there. What's going on? Hey, you know what? No one's going to fucking fix that but you. And even if just one person did that, you know, that it's like my heart is hurting for you, because I've literally been there. But it's not going to change or negate the fact that that fucking shadow and that darkness, that skull, is looking at you, looking through you. It's your innards, right? Also, I'm hearing to honor yourself and honor your body. What's upside down in your life right now? You see the skull upside down, the crown's upside down? Your crown chakra. Isn't that fucking crazy? We were just talking about the crown chakra, and it's like Spirit's trying to show you, you know, like, this imagery isn't scary. It's actually beautiful. It's about death and rebirth. And as soon as you let go of those masks and that masquerade that you have going on with all these people around you, friends, family, work, whatever, all of the above, is, as soon as you let that go, even your kids, I'm hearing some of you are like trying to raise your kids the way someone is. I feel like too many cooks are in the kitchen or something. I'm hearing, maybe you're living with family, friends, or people who think they have a right to tell you, right? And they're mirroring you, right? They're like a mirror for you. And you're like, yeah, and look at me, and look at how fucked up I am because of that shit. No, I'm not going to pass that down to my kids. Did you ever do that? Did you ever have a moment, whether it's with kids or a lover, it doesn't matter, but did you ever have a moment where you hear the darkness of your parents come through your mouth to another person and you're like, oh, fuck. I mean, I didn't even realize how really insidiously deep rooted my evil woman went. I really didn't until just recently. And I had to look at some shit about myself that was not so pretty. Moon and Scorpio, triple Sag. 70% of my chart masculine, 30% feminine. My masculine wants to come in with a fucking sword and cut bitches, cut shit up, right? Because she's been protecting me for a long time. And I was just like, you don't have to do that anymore. We live in love. We live in harmony. Everything around us is peaceful and happy. And when you start recognizing the patterns, right? When the light starts to seep back in and you start recognizing the patterns of yourself and others, that's all Spirit is asking you to do, is to just start recognizing the patterns of yourself and others and stop lying to yourself. That's all they're asking, because the shadows are going to keep coming for you. You can't run. You can't hide. There's no way you can run. There's no way you can hide. So I want to see if they want us to, okay. So we're going to start with this fairy card. And as much as I want to put them in like this cool light for you, they want me to keep them in this kind of shadow, okay? So I can put it in the light back here so you can see the imagery of it. But they're having me leave that other candle off. The irony is you guys are hiding in the light, which is cool, right? Like, you're like, but I'm trying to stay in a high vibration. It's one thing to stay in a high vibration. There's another to completely ignore the darkness. You know what I mean? It's like, then you're just running away from problems and then you're not getting to the root of it so you can solve it, so you can actually live in genuine happiness and not the fake happiness, not the mask that you have on of happiness, okay? So I'm going to come up close in case you want to get a screenshot of the words. Okay, I guess they don't, it doesn't matter, they said. Okay, they want me just to read it to you and keep looking forward at the masquerade. 2252. Opposing goals arising from differing opinions. Yes, see, like they're in this kind of like tug of war, right? Like they're in this battle for control. So I don't know if it's an inner battle with you and your light and your darkness. See how like one of the energies is a little more lighter than the other? It's like they're trying to show you that. And then it says, feeling at odds with yourself or others, overly ambitious people. And what did I say at the beginning? That I felt like this kind of antsy, and I was like, stop. Like you're doing that to yourself because you're trying to please too many people. You're trying to wear too many masks. Stop it. Okay, so now the next one is, and they're saying stop it with love. Like they're not saying it to pick on you or poo-poo you. I hope you realize. Like they're saying also, don't be, okay. And they're not saying this to be a jerk, okay? They're saying, that term, sensitive Sally, like don't be a sensitive Sally. No, they want you to be sensitive, right? You could be sensitive in your shadow too. They're just saying like, don't take every single solitary thing personally. It's not always about you. And I know that you don't think of it that way because you're like, I'm so giving, I'm so blah, blah. They're like, yes, you are. And thank you. And we love you for that. However, you also have this way of wanting to make everything good, everything right, people pleasing, everybody, as long as everything is, you need this like harmonious, like la, like fairy tale going all the time. And they're like, that is just not going to happen on earth. It's just not, you can have a wonderful life, but you're going to have ebbs and flows. You can have many days that's really wonderful. And then you have one, shit happens. You know what I mean? Like we're in life. Also, if you keep interacting with these old energies and these people who are not in the same realm you are, who, 5 of spring is water, right? And 5 is about change, transformation, challenges. It's like you're halfway there kind of thing. But the only way to get there is to stop fighting your shadow, right? You're turned around. You're like, get back, stay back, stay back. It's like he's like fighting me. He's like, stay back. I don't know if I can zoom in there, right? He's like, stay back. um, and the other one's like, hey, listen, we're cool, man. Like, we're friends, we're family. Like, what are you talking about? We're breathing the same air. We both have blood going through our veins. Like, hey, can we work this out, right? So this next one says, set aside your concerns for now. You can make a decision later. Solutions that come from meditation, the need for more sleep, or a vacation. Also, I kept hearing solitude, solitude, solitude before this reading. And it's the Four of Winter, which is really interesting with the Four of Winter because we have the Five of Spring and the Four of Winter. So for our Southern Hemisphere family, you're going into the spring, and for the Northern Hemisphere, we are in the fall, obviously, or you're in the spring, right? But we're in fall and we're going into winter, the Northern Hemisphere. So it could even be for some of you, whether you live in Northern or Southern, doesn't matter. But see how we were talking about the five, the change transformation? They want you to take a step back. Fours isn't taking a step back from to four isn't necessarily a step down, right? It's saying that whatever you're doing in this Five of Spring, this battle, whether it's with others, all of the above, this battle that's going on in this five energy it doesn't need to happen, but you're trying to, be all these things. They're like, instead, can you just go inward? Right? Like that person there, they're in daydream mode, right? Like they're enjoying like their slumber, they're dreaming about, what they want. And fours are about balance. So if this wasn't working, then go back to the drawing board, take some time to yourself, get balanced, get centered, pull yourself away from people and the bullshit, the malarkey, whatever's going on, let it go. Set aside your concerns for now. You can make a decision later. You don't have to make a decision right now. Solutions that come from meditation, right? And rest, the need for more sleep or a vacation. And for some of you, I'm hearing that Spirit's saying, then just take a vacation. Like say you're trying to move somewhere. Is there a way you can maybe go there on vacation? Even if it's just is somewhere you can go for the day, or go overnight. Whatever you need, what is it that you need? You know what I mean? Take that time for yourself. Okay, so then the next fairy card is, the Ace of Winter. Yes, because once you come out of that winter energy, it'll feel like a brand new beginning. It's going to feel like a brand new beginning. It says, don't be deterred by challenges along the way. It's important to communicate clearly and accurately. Amazing new ideas that should be implemented. Yes. So we get rid of the masquerade and we go back to the beginning, back to the drawing board, right? Where you're centered. And also look at their solo. Notice how over here there's a battle with two people and the other two cards solo. And I love that she's got this beautiful tiger, it looks like a snow leopard, a snow tiger, walking behind her, protecting her. She's walking fiercely. She's protected from the elements with all of her boots and her outfit and her coat and her warm energy. She's got her beautiful, her animal companion who's going to walk with her. I'm feeling a lot of, it could be Leo energy too. Interesting. Woo, you guys. Okay, so interestingly enough, I thought there's one more fairy card, but they want me to bring this card first. And this was the one from the Hedge Witch. Okay, so happiness. Happiness. This is what you're going to find. Not this Five of Spring, not the fighting anymore. Also, listen, here's something that sometimes is hard to hear, but it's so true. When we hold on too tightly to people, places, or things that no longer belong to us, not only are we keeping ourselves back, we're keeping ourselves back from our present and our future, but we are also holding back that person, that job, that home, whatever it is, from the people who are waiting for that. You know, we don't just think about ourselves, we think about the collective as a whole. Also, my eyes keep going down to this mushroom, and I'm putting together a group reading. It's going to be on my other channel, Lula's Life. There's a link in the About section. Really great stuff. Really, really great stuff. I left some pearls to what it's going to be like in the first reading, but right now they're telling me to be a little tight-lipped. So go subscribe over there today to Lula's Life and put the notification bell on, and then you'll know when it comes out. I'm not sure if they're going to have me do it in real time. Tomorrow is 10:10, the 10:10 portal, but there's so many magical things going on. They may have me do it. You know, there's so many magical things going on this week with, you know, Friday the 13th and the solar eclipse. And, you know, we've got all this eclipse energy coming in. So it didn't surprise me that Spirit asked me to work with there's more shadow decks that I have. By the way, I can't even like continue my thought process because this is the card that's at the bottom. Look at that. This is the card that's at the bottom, and my eyes just could not look away from her. She would not let me look away. And I feel like this is Spirit. This is you. This is your inner goddess. And it doesn't matter what you align with in your physical form, that is your inner warrior goddess begging for you to call on her. That's what the 13 is about. 13 is the number of the goddess. Why do you think they've banished it from all the religions and texts? They don't want women to be powerful, but we are. It's not about women. It's about the divine feminine. There are men out there right now who also understand, woo, shit, the divine feminine, right? That's really okay. I said, I'm like, is that secure? I'm like, is that secure? Because I wasn't going to, whoa. But they're like, but time to snuff that shit out, right? Because they're trying to snuff us out. And Spirit's saying, don't let them snuff you out. Okay? So this is your last card. The Four of Autumn. Another balance card, number 4. And autumn is a representation of fall, obviously, but of fire. And this one says, manage your resources wisely. Achieve a balance in how you spend and save money. Help out those who are less fortunate. But also, you guys, I'm hearing don't give so much away that you're not taking care of yourself, right? Because that's what she's here for. You know, we love this beautiful, you know, I almost feel like if you look at it, I feel as if this is your inner child that is going to come out of this shadow once you take those masks off. Once you, because, you know, this is going to be different for all of you guys, right? This message is going to resonate different for every single one of you. Sometimes when I do these readings, I'm like, dude, this shit feels like it's all over the place. And then, like, you guys will be like, oh my gosh, it resonated, you know, because I'm the same way. I'll watch a mass reading, same thing. And I'm just like, wow, you know, and you're like, how does that align so much to my life? But it does, because it's more about the medicine. It's about the spirit medicine. It's about the messages, and it's going to apply to your life because all of our lives are very similar. We're all walking each other home, as they say, right? We're all walking together on this path. So this to me feels like your inner child that is going to finally, she's walking out of this. She's going to go in here and figure out what is going on with that masquerade, right? And then she is going to come out victorious. She's not going to let that scare her anymore, you know, because I feel like she would have been afraid of this goddess. I think she would have been afraid of this goddess before because she's like, dude, her eyes are bleeding. That's scary shit, right? But they don't want us to look at it like that. That is a way that we have been trained to believe what is good and what is evil, what is, you know, what is bad, quote unquote, and what is good. But what's so wrong with them? Like, right, if I keep pulling in, because I don't have a super fancy camera and the way that the lighting is, you can't even really see her tears. But if I get her in there, if I get her right in there, or see her sunken eyes, you know what I mean? Oh, see, I saw blood tears coming out of her face. That's interesting. But what? No, she's just fucking powerful. What's wrong with her long, pointy nails and her, you know? In another world, this is beautiful. That is beautiful. Her darkness is beautiful. So maybe for some of you, you've been living in an imposter syndrome, which is why these fairy cards want to go down. Maybe you've been living in an imposter syndrome because you don't want to face her, because this is who you really are. Oh, my throat chakra is getting to hear that. She's like, this is who you really are. And she's gorgeous. You're gorgeous. You're beautiful. You're beautiful just the way you are. Look at this. Look at how everything, I mean, just the way that the shadow and the candle, everything had to happen this way to show how powerful you are, how magical you are, and not be afraid of this part of you. Because look, she's got light behind her. She's got fire behind her. It almost as if she has, it almost feels like a light and dark, doesn't it? Like the, like the cool, like ice and fire, fire and ice, which is the same. It's just equal balance of one of the other. So now it's just time for you to find that equal balance of one or the other. And also for some of you to get out of your head about body, this body dysmorphia. Look at this. Naked Before the Stars, number 18. Oh my gosh. By the way, how did I not put this together? That, look at, this is number 4 at the bottom. Is this me? Yes, it is you. It is you. And this is you too. You were made before the stars, number 18, number 9. Oh my gosh, today's the 9th. There's so much cool stuff happening today, right? So you're beautiful. Your beauty is beautiful. It's yours. You're not meant to look like anybody else or be like anybody else. You're not meant to obsess on others, right? That's not your job. Don't obsess about what people think of you, or, and look at, that's another part of the inner child. Obsessed, please love me. Come to the core of that. What is missing? Look at their mirror. There's a mirror shining right in front of them, right? Because you chose this deck, the Dark Mirror deck. But see how this child is in shadow. They're in darkness. But Spirit's trying to show them their hand is dark. Everything is dark. But right in front of them is a mirror with light. And they're like, just look at this. This is who you are. This is who you really are. And it's okay. They're saying, look into that mirror. Look at them. Look at her. This is definitely divine feminine driven. Work with your divine feminine through this while you're tearing those masks off. Don't let other people's shame and their bullshit, because listen, you weren't fated to suffer. Number 25, you were not fated to suffer. I want some more, please. Give me some more. You were not fated to live like that, to be like that, to beg for mercy, to beg. You're not a fucking beggar. You're a divine light being. It is your divine birthright to be abundant, to be happy, to be joyful, to be fed, to be well nourished, and your mind, your body, your soul, and your heart. Don't let these people in your life and your past, your shadow, don't let them come in and tempt you with bullshit or the same fucking story or the same thing. You know what I mean? Because you are not fated to suffer. Even if they are telling you that you are not fated to suffer. And you can live in as bright a light as you want to live in. That is up to you. But if you keep hovering in this darkness, how can the light and the high vibration find you? You must raise yourself and your energy field up to that 5th dimensional energy. It's a vibration. It's an energy. It's not some magical place. You will start to see the fairies, the magic, the animals. They'll start working with you. Things will change. The veil is getting thinner. Whenever you watch this, it's timeless, but in real time, it is getting thinner, and the ancestors are trying to give you a different kind of gift. A gift of self. The apple represents the heart. It literally is the apple, is the fruit of love. Don't buy into the old religious bullshit of control. I think the only reason why I'm having an easier time understanding what's happening is because my whole childhood, I was just like, this shit doesn't make sense. I'd go to church, I'd be like, wait, what? They would like teach you one thing, but then it would completely like not make sense because it's then canceling out the other thing. And I was like, this is a bunch of malarkey, right? I was like, I saw through that shit. You see through it too. You're not fated to suffer with somebody. Don't let somebody say, but we're twin flames, baby. But I gotta roam. No, I'm not dealing with their shit. Maybe you are twin flames, but they gotta go deal with their shit. Don't get me started on my personal relationship, man. 8.5 years. I'm finally at the place where, okay, I understand and I can breathe. Only you know what your path is, what you're meant to do, but you are not fated to suffer. This, I know, you are not fated to suffer. All right, you guys, those are your messages. I tried to pull some more cards and they told me no. So I hope these helped you in any way. I love you. I love you. Love you. Love you. Love you. All of my information is in the About section. And I'll see you next time. Take good care of yourselves and each other. Blessed be. Out.